It was an afternoon in the fall. The leaves are just about ready to show their glorious colors. The trip to Manchester takes about an hour and 15 minutes. And we had decided to visit the annual art and craft fair. The drive itself is not terribly exciting, and we're always amused when our visitors from Europe comment about the power lines. They are used to having their lines underground and cannot understand why we keep using this prehistoric method of running these lines helter-skelter above ground, and then we complain about ice storms cutting off our power quite frequently. And we try to tell them that we're still a developing country, but then they just shake their heads. But you know something? I think they've got a point. See the fairgrounds with the big tents for the vendors from a distance, and behind the fairgrounds are the Green Mountains. And you realize that Vermont is really a beautiful state. Manchester was actually chartered in 1761. The buildings you see here are part of the famous discount mall. And when our European friends show up, they just have to visit the discount stores where they can purchase famous name brands of clothing, shoes, and everything else. But little do they know that most of these items are especially made by these companies for these very discount stores. But then I don't have the heart to tell them that. Of course, Manchester is also known for its annual balloon festival. It's a typical view in Vermont. The covered bridge and the little church and the breathtaking view. Don't you just want to hop on a plane and come on over? And just before we hit the town itself, we came across this chocolate factory store. But when I saw the prices, I sort of lost my appetite. But now we're driving on to the fairgrounds. We're directed to a parking spot and can already see the general layout. This is crawling with people, checking out the little tents of the craft people. And in the background you can see humongous tents that we will invade shortly. Here goes our last bit of sunshine before we enter the cavernous tents and check out individual vendors. Handcrafted kitchen utensils. They look great, and we bought some of these in the past, but we now want to downsize and don't need any more clutter, even nice clutter. Here I thought it was back in the 20s. Ladies' hats made of alpaca wool. They look kind of cute, and the owner was modeling them for us. Placemats and artificial plastic flowers. Well, I guess there's no accounting for taste, but the girl was happy and proud of her displays. Alpaca booth. They showed items you could buy, but the woman was also operating a spinning wheel and let us feel how soft the wool is. Just a cute little display of jewelry. Good one. I saw a woman in a wheelchair, and when I looked at her, I saw something wiggle in the basket in the back of the chair. I looked closely, and I was amazed to see a little dog. It turned out to be a teacup Yorkie. Now don't laugh. That's the official name for this breed. The dog is 3 years old and weighs all of 3 pounds. Wow. Can you imagine leading this cute little fluff ball around on a leash? Here's an interesting one. I took a picture of this little booth showing house shoes, and would you believe the owner came out and read me the riot act. How dare I take a picture of his booth? Then he said that he was being very nice to me. And when I mentioned that I did not see any signs about not taking pictures, he started really getting ticked off. I felt like I had accidentally invaded KGB headquarters to spy on his crummy shoes. These are just another couple of pictures of the general layout. I would do something like this, but you ought to see these Johns. Super deluxe. You walk into one of these trailers and you think you're in a mansion. Skylights, indirect lighting, gorgeous fixtures, you name it. I was really impressed. And here's a little side trip to Hildene. I'll give you a little bit of time to read this sign that explains the history of this luxurious house. The approach to Hildene is breathtaking. This is the typical area that the tourists are coming to because of the view. And the tourists are called the leaf peepers because during the autumn season they come here and look at the change of color in the leaves. Here it is. This is the Hildene Mansion, which was previously owned by Robert Lincoln, the son of Abraham Lincoln. It's a nice little cottage, don't you think? This is a picture of the garden surrounding the mansion. The state owns and maintains the estate now. Did Robert have a chauffeur-driven limo, of course, but he also owned this fancy Pullman car. This is a look on the inside of the car. I wouldn't mind commuting in this manner, would you? Here is his formal dining room, and there's another billiard room or something else in the back. I remember also that there's an organ, a big organ, with music sounding throughout the entire mansion. To close this demonstration, I will show you the living room, and that's the end of the tour. So until next time, thank you. Bye.